Today I'm going to share with you Homestead in Eagle, Idaho, and why this is the subdivision I've chosen for my family and I to live in for the foreseeable future. What's up, guys? I'm Chase Dolan, and this is Living in Boise, where I show you what it's like to actually live, work, and play here in the Boise and Treasure Valley area. If this is your first time to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I release videos like this every single Tuesday and Thursday. And on top of that, I am an agent here in the area, so as much as I love making these videos for you, I would love even more to help you find the neighborhood that's right for you. So if you have any questions or if there's any way that I can help, this phone number, this email, they are my direct line, so I would absolutely love to. But today I want to talk about the subdivision that my family and I currently live in, and it's one of my favorites, and there's a reason that we chose it. Homestead in Eagle, Idaho. Homestead is a master planned community located in the northwestern portion of Eagle. The neighborhood itself offers a ton, but it's highlighted by the 2 community pools. There's 3 playgrounds, a ton. And when I say a ton, I really do mean a ton of open space, green space, place for your kids to go out and run, all sorts of stuff like that. There is also a tot lot, a creek running through the neighborhood with walking paths galore. Something that really mattered to my wife and I when we were looking for our next home in the neighborhood that we really wanted our family to grow up in was a variety of different ways that we could take our 2 dogs out for walks. In a typical neighborhood, you'll kind of have your 2 or 3 main drags. You'll walk around the block this way, or we'll flip it around and we'll walk around the block this way. I can tell you, as somebody who currently lives in Homestead, there are a ton of great walks that you can take your dogs on, and you'll never feel like a super repetitive, you're just kind of in your routine. Kind of keeps everything fresh. These walking paths, as well as the streets in the neighborhood, are tree lined. There's great landscaping throughout. The common areas really aren't just grass, and that's about it. The developer did a great job with installing plenty of trees, shrubs, all sorts of stuff along the creek to really give it that fun park-like feel. HOA in the neighborhood, in order to maintain all of this, is a pretty reasonable, but it's still a big amount of $1,100 overall for the year. Like I said at the beginning, Homestead is located in the northwest portion of Eagle, Idaho. Eagle is a town of about 30,000 people, so it's still on the smaller edge, but it is growing pretty quick. It's one of the most desirable suburbs of Boise, Idaho itself, and it's located just northwest of downtown Boise. If you want a breakdown of why I think Eagle, Idaho is an absolute great place to live, check out this video or some of the others on my channel. Now, looking at where Homestead is on a map and the proximity to some of the closest services, you're going to see on the map that it's in the northwestern portion of Eagle, but definitely a little bit closer to downtown than some of the others that we've talked about. Because of this, it is definitely a little short drive to all of the services that you need, but you're not really going to eclipse 10 minutes all that often. To get to the closest grocery store, you're probably going to be looking about an 8-minute drive, but you've got a few options. You can go into Star and hit up one of the local grocery chains. You've got Fred Meyer just about 8 minutes down towards Meridian, as well as you could head into downtown Eagle, which also happens to be just around 7 to 8 minute drive. Because of this, you really have shopping, you have restaurants, parks, everything that you would want within about a 5 to 10 minute drive from the neighborhood, which in a place like this where we are pretty car reliant, I think is a pretty big win. And of course, if you really want to find your Costco and get your fix, you have just a 9-minute drive to get to Costco in Northwest Meridian. If you're looking to get into downtown Boise for any sort of brunch on the weekends, you want to go out, you're just looking for a sporting event, or you just want to hit up the farmer's market on Saturday morning, you're going to be looking at about a 30-minute drive depending on traffic. And then to get to the interstate, Highway I-84, you're going to be looking at about a 20-minute drive as well. And this is something that I've talked about a lot on the channel, is getting from Star and Eagle to that highway for any sort of road trips, anything like that. That's probably the toughest part of living out here right now. But over the next couple of years, we're going to have the Highway 16 extension, which is going to connect State Street, which is the main artery on this side of town, with the interstate, which is going to trim that from about 20 minutes down to, I would care to say, under 10 minutes to get to the highway, which is going to make all of the commutes, everything about this part of town, even easier. As far as schools go, you're going to be in Eagle schools in West Ada School District, which are rated pretty consistently as some of the top ones in the overall Treasure Valley area. As I always say, do your own research. What you think is a great school and what I think and what I value for my family can change so much. So do some of your own research, but these are some of the schools that consistently get the high praise from people that send their kids. As far as the real estate side of the neighborhood, building started here back in 2018. So it's been going for about 5 or 6 years now. Overall, there's going to be 368 homes over 8 phases, with phase 8 right now about to wrap up, and they're hoping for all new construction to be done by the end of this year or early in 2024. As far as the builder team that built out this neighborhood, it's pretty top notch. It is a Brighton developed neighborhood. So of course you have Brighton building a ton of the homes. You have Hallmark Homes, who built some in the early phases. You have James Clyde, which is one of the most respected builders in our valley. And then you have Alturas Homes, which is who my wife and I use to build our home. Now let's talk home sites. Something that I get from a lot of clients, and it mattered to my wife and I as well, is you want a good chunk of land with your home. You don't want to feel like the neighbors are just crunching on top of you at all times. And this is something that Homestead can offer you. Speaking generally, almost every single home in this neighborhood is at least 1/4 of an acre in size, with I would say most of them being between that 1/4 of an acre to 1/3 of an acre, but there are some that are even bigger, trending all the way up to 3/4 of an acre home sites. Some of the types of homes that you're gonna see in this neighborhood are the single family detached homes that are pretty popular in the suburbs. You're gonna be on those larger lots, as well as 3-car garages are pretty popular here. I would say about 90% of the homes in the neighborhood have them, as well as a ton of RV, boat bays, whatever it is that you and your family would need. Price range, you're gonna be starting out in the mid 700,000s for most of the smaller homes, trending all the way up to some of the bigger ones, which we've seen sell for over 1.5 million. The range of the square footage of the homes, of course, like most of our neighborhoods here, is pretty wide, but they're gonna start around 2,100 square feet, and then they're trending all the way up to around that 4,000 square foot home is probably going to be the max that you're going to have. As far as new construction availability, there are only a few opportunities left. And when I say a few, I am not exaggerating. I think there's maybe 5 or 6 left in the entire neighborhood that they're starting to put finishing touches on. These are all going to be spec homes, and there are opportunities with Brighton, Alturas, or James Clyde, but these are going to range on 827,000 on the low end, all the way up to there's some currently being offered at the top of 1.2 million. On the flip side, one of the cool parts about this neighborhood is since it was started in 2018, there are some people that have lived here since then. We've also seen, since the market took a pretty big upturn after some of these homes were created and the time span that's gone, as well as the appeal of the neighborhood, we've seen over the last 12 months, 25 homes in this neighborhood hit the market. This is a pretty good amount of inventory considering new construction was still happening in the neighborhood. And because of this, there's a pretty good chance that if this is a neighborhood that you think works for you and your family, that there will be an option for you. You just want to be able to scoop up the good one when it comes, because the days on market and the overall speed at which these homes sell in the neighborhood is pretty low compared to the surrounding neighborhoods. Homestead truly is what I believe, and this is why we're here, one of the best opportunities as far as subdivisions in the Eagle area. It provides a lot of the aspects of a neighborhood that I think are important to where I want to raise my family, and hopefully I was able to convey that with you and share a little bit of what I think makes this neighborhood so appealing. If you have any questions about Homestead, living in Eagle, Idaho, or if there's a subdivision that you want me to highlight next, drop a comment below or feel free to shoot me a message. I would love to chat with you. But until then, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one.